Hey everyone, Kim Snyder here from the API guys, and I want to show you or tell you about something called the HTTP post snippet in Campaign Builder. And the reason I want to tell you about this is that the post snippet is the way you tell our Pocket Developer plugins what you want them to do. So in order to use our Pocket Developer plugins, you have to use and understand the post snippet. You don't have to know code, but you do have to use the post snippet. And recently, I've had a number of people tell me that they don't know what the post snippet does. In fact, one person the other day said they had never even opened the process part of Campaign Builder before, which kind of surprised me. So I'm going to show you really quickly, in case you don't know about a post snippet, exactly what it is, what it does, and how you use it. In Campaign Builder, I am in a sequence, so let me just go back, okay? So if I go in this sequence, and I look, I've got my timers, I've got communications, which are the things that most people use. Down here, then I've got process. I know that most people use apply remove tag. Maybe they don't venture any further down than that. But there's, second to the last, there's this thing called send an HTTP post. This is really useful for talking to scripts and third-party applications and so forth. Now, I will confess that when I first started using Infusionsoft, I didn't know an HTTP post from a fence post, but it's since become my very best friend. So I'm going to show you what it is and how it works. When you first drag this guy out and you open it up, it's going to look like this. It's going to have an empty spot for a URL. And then it's just going to have one name value pair. And that by default, the name is contact ID. This could also be called a parameter. And then the value is a merge field, which is contact.id. You've got here your merge fields, the same merge fields that you might use in, say, Email Builder or elsewhere. Okay. And the rest of it is, pretty standard stuff. Okay. Now, what are you going to do with this thing? Well, first of all, let me just tell you one other thing. So if you hover out here to the right of these key value pairs, by the way, you'll get pluses and minuses. And as you click on pluses, it will add key value pairs, and as you hit the minuses, they will go away. Okay? So we can have as many of these key value pairs as we want. So we've got parameter and value going to a URL. Now, let's just talk about what this is doing real quick before we actually set one up. So, as I said, this is a way for you to send information from Infusionsoft to outside of Infusionsoft, and we do it with a URL. Now, that URL could point to all kinds of things, right? Let's just drag this down again here. That post URL is going to be something, just a URL like http mydomain.com/myscript.php. And usually, whatever system you're working with, whether it's Pocket Developer or Plus This or Parsi or Zapier or any of them, they're all going to give you that URL and tell you to put it in the HTTP post. Now, here's what's happening. You've got Infusionsoft here. Okay, and then somewhere over here you've got a third party, and you've got generally it's a script that's sitting there waiting for information to come over from Infusionsoft so that it can process it and then do something with it. Now, for us, this script is a Pocket Developer script, but there's lots of other ones that you might want to use. So the way that you get that information from Infusionsoft over to the third party is this HTTP post, specifically through the URL, and then underneath or attached to that URL are going to be all those name value pairs. Right? Now, you don't have to worry about formatting that big, long, hairy URL because the post snippet is going to do that for you. But that is, in fact, what it's going to do. It's going to take those name value pairs and it's going to append them to the end of your URL, and it's going to send it over to the script, and the script is going to say, this is a post. And it's got a bunch of useful information in it. So I'm going to parse these name value pairs and then use it to do something, right? So this is going this way. So there's your post, okay, with the name value pairs appended. The script gets it and it parses it, and maybe it goes off and does something in its system, and that's fine. But for us with Pocket Developer, we're not going off doing something out there in the third party. What we're actually doing is Pocket Developer is going to come back and act on Infusionsoft. So, and the way it does that is it uses that script, which we've already written and is pre-installed on your server, and you don't need to know anything about other than these little name value pairs to tell it what you want to do. And it's turning it around and it's saying, okay, now we're going to use the Infusionsoft API to do these things in Infusionsoft. So it's a big loop. You're starting out in Campaign Builder. Okay, you're giving some, I should probably do this with a pen instead of my mouse. You're starting out in Campaign Builder, right? You're giving it Pocket Developer you're telling it which Pocket Developer plugin you want, what you want it to do, and the information it needs to do it with. You're sending it to the script. The script grabs that and then turns around, calls the API. Again, no code required here. You don't need to know anything about that, but in the background it's happening, and then it's coming back around and it's happening, you know, in the contact records, in the opportunity records, in the invoice, order, company, referral, what have you, right? It is acting on the data in those fields and tables for you based on what you told it to do. And so this is your way of basically having the full power of the API available to you from Campaign Builder without you having to know one bit of code. And that's in essence what an HTTP post is doing. It's how we use it. And so now let's look at how we're going to set it up. Now, generally, it's just going to be this. It's going to be a HTTP : / like any other thing. And then I'm going to use the API guys.com, and then I'm going to say scripts, and then I'm going to just say, you know, my script.php in this case. Okay? And that's it. And then I might add something here like name equals Kim. You know, doesn't matter, okay? So that's it. So I have two name value pairs, contact ID and name equals Kim. Now, when I run this, what it's going to do is for this contact in Campaign Builder, it's running through the campaign, it's going to merge in their contact ID, and it's going to assign it this kind of name of contact ID, and then it's also going to send over a constant, which is a string Kim, or a piece of text Kim, and it's going to assign it to this, and then when the script gets it, it can then do something with that. Okay? So that's all there is to a post. URLs, name value pairs, and then they just run like anything else runs as they are hit in sequence. And that is an HTTP post. Actually, I'm going to show you one other thing. I'm just going to show you really quickly an example of a Pocket Developer HTTP post. So you can see here, don't worry about what it is, but just notice here is a URL, okay? On our server, here's that contact ID, and then we've actually got 3 parameters here that we've added in order to tell this field math plugin what to do. And I'm going to explain what this does in a different video, but for now, just want you to know what an HTTP post is and that this is how you tell Pocket Developer plugins what you want to do. Okay, that's it. So if you have any questions about this video, I'm always happy to answer them. This or any other questions that you might have about anything, how to get something done, how to extend Campaign Builder, what our Pocket Developer plugins do, which plugins you need to get things done, anything. So if you need to reach me, my email address is kim@theapiguys.com. And I am more than happy to help you out. You can also post your questions in our Facebook group or as a comment here in this blog post. Hope that helped you guys. Talk to you soon.